know you're all familiar with my first love, the Ibis Ripmo V2. This bike has been by my side for almost a year, and she's been a trusted steed. We've traveled all over the country, from California to North Carolina and back, and she never complained once. Hell, she never even got a flat tire. Anyway, what's that? Let me introduce you to my brand new love, a 2020 Santa Cruz Highball. This bike is really something else. I picked up a 2020 Santa Cruz Highball on Pink Bike, and the seller agreed to deliver it to me from Southern California. This frame is designed around the idea that if you're going to spend a long time in the saddle without a suspension, you want as much comfort as you can get. This bike's 27.2 seat tube, along with other elements on the frame, make it flexy and forgiving. This allows the bike to eat chattery bumps and take just a little bit of sting out of the trails. The Highball and my Ibis Ripmo 2 are both large, carbon 29-inch wheel bikes, but that's where the similarities end. The Highball has a much steeper head tube, which makes the steering quick and responsive. The 76-degree seat tube angle is 3 full degrees shallower than the Ripmo, placing the rider more over the rear wheel and asking for a more aggressive posture. The wheelbase on the Highball comes in at 124 centimeters. That's 10 centimeters shorter than the Ripmo. Having the wheels closer together makes it easier to corner on tight switchbacks. The result is a lightweight frame that is super responsive and rides fast. She isn't built for bombing downhills, but she's a fast ride that can carry your pedal power right to the drivetrain for a faster ride. This is a racing machine. Let's take a look at how she's outfitted. The fork is a RockShox Sid Ultimate, super lightweight and 120 millimeters of travel. The bright blue color gives it all away. It's supple, responsive, and doesn't overdo it, and it also saves a lot on weight. The headset is a Cane Creek AER. It's an upper-level headset with great bearings. The bike turns nice and smooth. The stem is a standard Thompson aluminum stem. Nothing really fancy here. I do like the color, it matches the frame. This Pro Taper Hyperlight handlebar is light, flexy, and feels great. Normally I use a riser, and I might just be switching it out, but we'll see. The rims are Ibis S35 carbon rims. They're wide and they're very, very stiff. These wheels are going to last a lifetime. The hubs are DT Swiss 240 15s. They're a little on the expensive side, but they have a great ratcheting mechanism that's been upgraded to 54 teeth. They're light, they're quick, and they're a little bit noisy. The spokes are Sapim CX-Ray bladed. They're the same stock spokes that come on most Ibis wheels. High quality and built strong. Kenda Booster Pro TR 29x2.4 tires. They don't have an aggressive tread pattern, but this is for trail riding. It's not for aggressive downhilling and climbing the crazy rocky gnar. They grip just the right amount and they roll fast. Look at these cranks, SRAM XX1 carbons. Wow, they're light, they're strong, and they're pretty. Pair that with the SRAM 32-tooth Eagle X-Sync 2 chainring, and this turns out to be a pretty nice drivetrain. The bottom bracket is a standard SRAM dub. I put some 1-up aluminum pedals on this bike, and I love them. Man, they're pretty, aren't they? They turn a little funny, and I had to use 2 spacers when I attached them to the crank. They perform well, and they ride stiff. SRAM Level Ultimate 2-piston brakes are on the front and the rear. Normally I'd go 4-piston, but this bike was built to save weight, so I'm not really going to argue much. Because I'm not going to be riding this bike down some crazy steep gnar, I'm not too worried about these brakes failing on me. They're good and strong, although I might put bigger rotors on. This bike has a classic WTB Silverado chromoly saddle. I could have opted for titanium or carbon, but I don't need that stuff. This is a great saddle, it's comfortable, and it's durable. This race face aluminum seat post is basic and run-of-the-mill. Got it off of Amazon. Not too expensive, no frills. It's not the lightest in the world either, but it's going to be replaced with a P&W in the future. This bike needs a dropper. This is a SRAM Axis XX1 Eagle rear derailleur. It's the higher end version of the same one that I have on the Ripmo. Performs well, incredibly reliable, and really expensive. I have it paired with a SRAM Eagle Axis shifter, also the same one I have on the Ripmo. Very positive action, some weird ergonomics that you get used to, but overall a fantastic and reliable product. The Sprocket is a SRAM XG 1299 Eagle, and it goes from 10 to 52 teeth. That's the maximum that Axis can handle. And it's pretty much the biggest one you can get without going non-standard. With gears that low, this thing can climb trees. The chain is a standard SRAM Eagle oil slick chain. Nothing special here, but it's super reliable and it should work just fine. Lastly, the grips. Ori clamp-ons go on all my bikes. This is my 4th set on my 3rd bike. I put these black aluminum caps at the ends to make it pretty, but overall, I think it fits the aesthetic of the bike. They have just the right amount of cush, and they're super comfortable and grippy. This bike was originally ordered as a full bike, a full build, but I realized I didn't need the wheels or the seat post or the saddle and some other stuff because I already had them, and I was building a wheel set, so I ordered it without those things, and it arrived as a frame set with a bunch of parts on it, and they were really high-end parts, so it turned out pretty nice. The bike rides a lot faster and a lot harder than my Ibis Ripmo V2, and that's okay. That's why I bought it. I wanted to do some speed riding. I wanted to do more cross country and maybe try out some distance. So this was a great way to do that. The bike is ridiculously light. It weighs in at 20.0 pounds. I don't even know how to process that. It feels like a dream on the trails. Of course, it's not built for the big rocks, like I said before, so you have to ride it the way it was meant to be ridden. Good, smooth trails, it screams on them. It just goes so fast. I have some Ibis Lo-Fi 35 millimeter rise handlebars that I'm probably going to end up putting on this bike. So I'll swap those out, and that might add a couple of grams to the weight, but it's going to make it a lot more comfortable and easier on my back. The seat post is a stock race face, and I got it on Amazon. It was dirt cheap. I just threw it on there so that I'd be able to ride it. But I've got a P&W dropper post on order, and I'm going to put it on as soon as it arrives. The cockpit on this bike is amazingly sparse. It's super light, really easy. It's just decked out right in front of you. Very few controls. Of course, I'm going to have a dropper post lever on there, and that's going to mix it up a little more. But overall, really light, really easy on the eyes. Not too much to concentrate on. The Kenda tires are fast. I bought cross-country tires, and I'm really happy with them. They're not designed for like big boulder climbing, but that's not why I bought the bike. And I just couldn't believe how quick and how easy those things roll on smooth dirt and on pavement. I'm going to throw a computer mount on there. I'm going to throw a bottle cage on there and probably some bigger rotors. But beyond that, I don't see a whole lot being added to the weight of the bike. It's going to remain a pretty light build. The oil slick bling is pretty for sure. There's no denying that. I would not normally buy that stuff. I'm not about the bling, but it came with it, and it's pretty. It's really pretty. I mean, I can't stop looking at it. That and the blue accents on the frame, it really is a beautiful balance, and it's the prettiest bike I've ever owned for sure, and the lightest. Thanks for tuning in today. Hit subscribe below and go ahead and let me know if you liked the video. If you have any questions about the build, type them right down there, and I'll see you out there on the trails.